Hulk Hogan says that you stared him down in the courtroom and that I was actually scared of you. Is that right? Were you trying to scare him?
Look, he's treated this whole thing, which is actually, it's a serious case, but he's treated the whole thing like it's just another wrestling match. Smackdowns, he's going to take down a giant, that he was going to wrestle me in the bathroom or something like that. He met my eyes at the end, and I have to admit—
You're blaming him for this stare down?
He actually stared at pretty much all of the witnesses. I think it's probably a wrestling thing. I assume it's kind of like, get into the head, I'm looking at you.
So when you were looking back at him, what did you see? What was your impression of him in the courtroom?
I mean, I see somebody who is under it all, and the documents reveal this. He's a pretty ruthless individual who's done what it's taken to get where he is.
There are other tapes of Hulk Hogan. On one of them, he is heard using racial slurs. And I know it's your belief that this case was really intended to cover up that other case. Tell me why.
When the appeals court released the papers last Friday, it became clear that Hulk Hogan had sent to Bubba Clem a text message, which shows clearly that what he was concerned about it's never been about the sex tape. It's never been about the tape that we received. It was about one of the other tapes, which contained sex, but more importantly contained racist and homophobic language. So I think it's pretty clear. He talks about he doesn't need this coming out. He has a pay-per-view event coming up, and as far as the sex was concerned, he was joking about it. He's never really been particularly bothered about having his sex life in public. He's put his sex life out in public. What he was afraid of was that the racial language, the racist language, would come out, and it ultimately did, and it ultimately cost him his WWE contract.
Going into it, when you were sitting in the courthouse, did you believe you were going to lose?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't surprising to you when the verdict came down?
It was kind of inevitable from the point at which it was clear that the circuit court was going to keep out vital evidence, and it was even more sure once it was clear that Bubba Clem, the man at the heart of this whole thing, the man who made the tape, the man who encouraged Hulk Hogan to have sex with his wife, from the point at which it was clear that he was not going to be called to testify for fear of further embarrassing Hulk Hogan, then I think our fate was sealed in this particular trial.
So about a year from now, you'll be at the appeals court, and then how far could this go?
Yeah, I'm hoping that the appeals court is going to make a decision on the law and on the facts, all of the facts of this case, not just the facts that were allowed into evidence by the circuit court, but all of the facts. And I'm very prepared to accept their decision.